Sweden is now officially a member of NATO.
Sweden became the 32nd member of NATO.
As Sweden now formally becomes the 32nd member of NATO.
Sweden officially joined NATO, and you might be wondering which country is joining NATO next? Well, today's video is going to be very informative for you. So, talking about Sweden officially joining the NATO, this didn't happen overnight. There's a series of events and war situations that made Sweden consider to take this step. Welcome back to our channel Geokit, your daily guide to geopolitical affairs. In this video, we will discuss about the Sweden's move of joining NATO, and possibly about the next country which is expected to join NATO. However, Joe Biden has passed a powerful statement to NATO alliance regarding Russian invasion of Ukraine. Watch the video until the end to know how NATO alliance is planning for safety and security. So without any delay, let's get started. Sweden has officially joined the NATO military alliance after staying neutral for many years. This decision comes because of rising concerns about Russia's aggression in Europe, especially after invasion of Ukraine. On Thursday, the 7th of March 2024, Sweden became NATO's newest member upon depositing its instrument of accession to the NATO with the government of the United States in Washington, D.C. With Sweden's accession, NATO now counts 32 countries among its members. Before understanding this, let's take a look on the background that what were the events that occurred in the past, due to which Sweden considered itself to join NATO. After World War II, Sweden built an international reputation as a champion of human rights. And when the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, Swedish government started spending less on military. Sweden's lack of military preparedness was revealed in 2013 when Russian bomber planes flew near the Swedish island of Gotland. Sweden had to rely on the NATO's help to deal with the situation towards the Russian planes. The next year, there were reports that a Russian submarine was operating in the Stockholm's territory, raising concerns about security of Sweden. While Stockholm has been getting closer to NATO over the last 2 decades, however, becoming a member represents a clear break from the past. Sweden avoided military alliances and adopted a neutral side in times of war for more than 200 years. Recently, in 2021, Sweden's defense minister had rejected NATO membership. But on February 24, 2022, something destructive happened. Russia's full-scale invasion on Ukraine made Sweden and Finland apply for the NATO's membership, which shares a long 1,340-kilometer border with Russia. While Finland joined last year, Sweden kept waiting as Turkey and Hungary delayed passing Sweden's accession. Turkey expressed concern that Sweden was harboring and not taking enough action against Kurdish groups that it considers as terrorists. Additionally, Hungary's President Viktor Orban has shown pro-Russian sentiments and hasn't shared the same determination of supporting Ukraine as other NATO members. After months of delay, Turkey approved Sweden's application in January, and so did Hungary in recent days. But Hungary delayed its move until Kristersson made a visit to Budapest on February 23rd, during which the two countries agreed on a fighter jet deal. This deal was necessary because Sweden has advanced submarines and a substantial fleet of nationally produced Gripen fighter jets, which now will support NATO forces and serve as a crucial link between the Atlantic and Baltic regions. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said, "Swedes realize something very profound, that if Putin was willing to try to erase one neighbor from the map, then he might not stop there." While Russia has threatened to retaliate against Sweden's move, and decided to take unspecified political and military technical countermeasures. But now, Sweden has joined NATO. And on March 11th, Sweden's flag will be raised alongside other 31 allies in a ceremony at NATO headquarters, and simultaneously at NATO commands across Europe and North America. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said, "This is a historic day. Sweden will now take its rightful place at NATO's table, with an equal say in shaping NATO policies and decisions." After over 200 years of non-alignment, Sweden now enjoys the protection granted under Article 5, the ultimate guarantee of allies' freedom and security. Article 5 of NATO's treaty obliges all members to come to the aid of an ally whose territory or security is under threat. It has only been activated once by the US after the September 11, 2001 attacks. Sweden brings with it capable armed forces and a first-class defense industry. Sweden's accession makes NATO stronger, Sweden safer, and the whole alliance more secure. Sweden's accession demonstrates that NATO's door remains open and that every nation has the right to choose its own path. Later, Swedish PM Ulf Kristersson was set to visit the White House, and then in the evening be a guest of President Joe Biden at his State of the Union address to Congress. On his visit, Kristersson addressed in the accession that Sweden is now a NATO member. Thank you all allies for welcoming us as the 32nd member. Unity and solidarity will be Sweden's guiding lights as a NATO member. We will share burdens, responsibilities, and risks with our allies, and will fully adhere to the Washington Treaty values: freedom, democracy, individual liberty, and the rule of law. We are now stronger together. After the accession, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said, "Good things come to those who wait." Kristersson wrote in a social media post that we are therefore a safer country. Moreover, he said that NATO is the most powerful defensive alliance in the history of the world, and it is as critical today to ensuring the security of our citizens as it was 75 years ago when our alliance was founded out of the wreckage of World War II. After happening all of this, Ukrainian president passed very thoughtful comments regarding his country's position today. Before we proceed further, discussing what did Zelensky say and what were the views of Biden on this, I'd like to hear from you. Are you finding this video informative? Feel free to share your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. And if you're finding it helpful, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. Your support means a lot to us and helps us reach a wider audience and the content that you'll love. Let's continue this journey together. While on Sweden's decision, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky welcomed Sweden's accession to NATO. Further, he said that it is important to note that one more country in Europe has become more protected from Russian evil. He said that his own country is hoping to join after the war ends. Biden said in a statement that when Russian President Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine in 2022, "I thought he could weaken Europe and divide NATO." Instead, in May 2022, Sweden and Finland, two of our close partners, with two highly capable militaries, made the historic decision to apply for full NATO membership, and both have now joined. Biden further added that with the addition of Sweden today, NATO stands more united, determined, and dynamic than ever now, 32 nations strong. Today, we once more reaffirm that our shared democratic values and our willingness to stand up for them is what makes NATO the greatest military alliance in the history of the world. It is what draws nations to our cause. It is what underpins our unity. Biden, in his speech to Congress, stepped up calls for reluctant Republicans to approve stalled military assistance to Ukraine as the war enters its third year. Biden said, "If anybody in this room thinks Putin will stop at Ukraine, I assure you he will not. Ukraine can stop Putin if we stand with Ukraine and provide the weapons it needs to defend itself." And Biden is expected to cite Sweden's decision, a call to reluctant Republican lawmakers to approve another $60 billion aid to Ukraine. Biden and his NATO counterparts have vowed that Ukraine will join NATO one day too. Do you think that Russia will step back after NATO allied powers have come together? Will Ukraine join NATO to save itself from further destruction? What will NATO alliance to do keep Ukraine safe and Russia away from invasion? Let us know your opinions in the comments section, and don't forget to share the video and like and click on the subscribe as we will keep you updated regarding the situation. Until next video, stay tuned.